Live from New Delhi, you're watching DD India Live, India's voice to the world. I'm Mark Lin. Namaskar. Coming up in the next 30 minutes. India and Russia ink wide-ranging pacts on healthcare, culture, food safety and polar waters training. India's central bank cuts repo rate by 25 basis points to 5.25% amid low inflation and strong growth. UK universities suspend admissions for students from Bangladesh and Pakistan amid visa misuse concern. The world awaits the 2026 FIFA World Cup draw in Washington, D.C. as 48 teams learn their group stage fate. India and Russia today exchanged several agreements in areas related to defense, healthcare, academics, culture, food safety, cooperation. Also, exchange of information on movement of vehicles and an MOU on training of ships operating in polar waters. Addressing a joint press meet with President Vladimir Putin at the 23rd India-Russia Annual Summit in New Delhi, Prime Minister Narendra Modi said that President Putin's visit has come at a time when bilateral relations are reaching many historic milestones. He said that in the last 10 years, the world has seen many ups and downs, and in the midst of all this, India-Russia ties have stood the test of time. Prime Minister Modi said that in the last 2 decades, President Putin has nurtured India-Russia relationship and elevated mutual relations to new heights.
पिछले 8 दशकों में विश्व में अनेक उतार चढ़ाव आए हैं। मानवता को अनेक चुनौतियों और संकटों से गुजरना पड़ा है और इन सब के बीच भी भारत रूस मित्रता एक ध्रुव तारे की तरह बनी रही है। परस्पर सम्मान और गहरे विश्वास पर टिके ये संबंध समय की हर कसौटी पर हमेशा खरे उतरे हैं। आज हमने इस नींव को और मजबूत करने के लिए सहयोग के सभी पहलुओं पर चर्चा की।
Leaders also adopted a joint statement and agreed to work on economic cooperation program till 2030. Prime Minister Modi said that agreements have also been signed in fields of trade, investment and security.
आर्थिक सहयोग को नई ऊंचाइयों पर ले जाना हमारी साझी प्राथमिकता है। इसे साकार करने के लिए आज हमने 2030 तक के लिए एक इकोनॉमिक कोऑपरेशन प्रोग्राम पर सहमति बनाई है। इससे हमारा व्यापार और निवेश डाइवर्सिफाइड, बैलेंस और सस्टेनेबल बनेगा और सहयोग के क्षेत्रों में नए आयाम भी जुड़ेंगे।
Prime Minister Modi stressed that strengthening connectivity between the two countries remains a key priority. The Prime Minister also said that cooperation in critical minerals is important for sustainable global supply chains.
ऊर्जा सुरक्षा भारत रूस साझेदारी का मजबूत और महत्वपूर्ण स्तंभ रहा है। सिविल न्यूक्लियर एनर्जी के क्षेत्र में हमारा दशकों पुराना सहयोग क्लीन एनर्जी की हमारी साझा प्राथमिकताओं को सार्थक बनाने में महत्वपूर्ण रहा है। हम इस विन विन सहयोग को जारी रखेंगे। क्रिटिकल मिनरल्स में हमारा सहयोग पूरे विश्व में सिक्योर और डाइवर्सिफाइड सप्लाई चेन सुनिश्चित करने के लिए महत्वपूर्ण है। इससे क्लीन एनर्जी, हाईटेक मैन्युफैक्चरिंग और न्यू एज इंडस्ट्रीज में हमारी साझेदारी को ठोस समर्थन मिलेगा।
India and Russia have also agreed to work together on vocational education, skilling and training. The Prime Minister also announced a 30-day e-tourist visa facility for the Russian citizens.
मुझे खुशी है कि शीघ्र ही हम रूसी नागरिकों के लिए निःशुल्क 30 डे ई-टूरिस्ट वीजा और 30 डे ग्रुप टूरिस्ट वीजा की शुरुआत करने जा रहे हैं। मैन पावर मोबिलिटी हमारे लोगों को जोड़ने के साथ साथ दोनों देशों के लिए नई ताकत और नए अवसर क्रिएट करेगी। आज 2 समझौते किए गए हैं। हम मिलकर वोकेशनल एजुकेशन, स्किलिंग और ट्रेनिंग पर भी काम करेंगे। हम दोनों देशों के स्टूडेंट्स, स्कॉलर्स और खिलाड़ियों का आदान प्रदान भी बढ़ाएंगे।
Speaking at the India-Russia Business Forum, Russian President Vladimir Putin highlighted the trading partnership between the two countries, noting a record increase of up to 80% in this field. He said that there are vast opportunities to further expand bilateral trade and investment.
Indeed, Russia and India are long-time trade partners. Trade volumes are growing at a sustainable pace, and over the past 3 years we saw a record increase of up to 80%. As a result, last year the Russian-Indian trade volume reached $64 billion. At the same time, it's obvious that there are vast opportunities for further increase of bilateral trade and investment. Russia and India have big consumer markets.
President Putin also praised India's economy as one of the fastest growing in the world, crediting Prime Minister Narendra Modi's sound economic policies and landmark initiatives, including the Make in India program.
Today, the Indian economy is one of the fastest growing in the world. Figures speak for themselves. Over a decade, the GDP of the country has almost doubled, and in terms of the purchasing power parity, it increased by 2.5 times. Thanks to the sound economic policy and such landmark initiatives by Prime Minister Modi as Make in India program, India is strengthening its technological sovereignty. The Indian processing and light industry, IT sector, and pharmaceuticals take leading positions in the world.
In a joint statement, the Russian President Vladimir Putin underscored the key priorities for strengthening India-Russia ties, spanning security, the economy, trade, and more, setting the stage for broader bilateral cooperation.
In the joint statement that we've adopted with Mr. Modi, we've delineated the priority objectives on the further reinforcements of our ties in the politics and security, economy, trade, in humanitarian and cultural spheres. As you saw for yourself, we have signed an impressive package of intergovernmental, interagency and corporate agreements. Many of those agreements are intended to broaden the economic cooperation between Russia and India. And this is entirely natural due to the fact that our countries are important partners of one another in trade, investment and technologies.
President Putin also reiterated that Russia remains a reliable supplier of oil, gas and coal, adding that Moscow is ready to continue uninterrupted fuel supplies to India.
We are also seeing successful partnership in energy. Russia is a reliable supplier of oil, gas, coal and everything that is required for the development of India's energy. We are ready to continue uninterrupted shipments of fuel for the fast-growing Indian economy.
President Putin also said that Russia is conducting a flagship project to build India's largest nuclear power plant aimed at supporting India's growing energy needs.
We are also conducting a flagship project to build the largest Indian nuclear power plant, Kudankulam, 2 out of 6 reactor units have been already connected to the energy network, and 4 are still under construction. Getting this nuclear power plant to full power output will give an impressive contribution to the energy requirements of India. It will help supply Indian enterprises and houses with cheap and clean energy.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi and the Russian President Vladimir Putin held bilateral talks at the Hyderabad House in New Delhi. The leaders held detailed discussions aimed at further strengthening bilateral relations between the two countries. Prime Minister Modi said that India and Russia share long-lasting and time-tested bonds.
एक्सेलेंसी, आपकी यात्रा बहुत ही ऐतिहासिक है। 2001 में जब आपने कार्यभार संभाला और भारत की आपकी यात्रा पहली हुई, उसको आज 25 साल हो गए और उस पहली यात्रा में ही स्ट्रेटेजिक पार्टनरशिप की एक मजबूत नींव रखी गई। मेरे लिए पर्सनली भी खुशी की बात है कि आपके साथ मेरे परिचय को और संबंधों को उसको भी 25 साल हो गए। एक्सेलेंसी, मैं मानता हूं कि ये जो 2001 में आपने जो भूमिका अदा की, एक विजनरी लीडर कैसे सोचता है, कहाँ से शुरू करता है और संबंधों को कहाँ तक पहुँचा सकता है, इसका एक उत्तम उदाहरण भारत-रशिया के संबंध है।
Speaking on the matter of conflict in Ukraine, Prime Minister Modi stressed that India is not neutral and stands on the side of peace. The Prime Minister added that the conflict should come to an end through dialogue and diplomacy.
एक्सेलेंसी, यूक्रेन के संकट के बाद हमारी लगातार चर्चा होती रही है। आपने भी समय समय पर एक सच्चे मित्र के रूप में हमें सभी चीज़ों से अवगत कराया। मैं समझता हूँ कि ये विश्वास बहुत बड़ी ताकत है और आपको मैंने अनेक बार इस विषय की चर्चा भी की है और विश्व समक्ष भी मैंने रखा है कि विश्व का कल्याण शांति के मार्ग पर ही है। हम सबको मिलकर के शांति के रास्ते तलाशने चाहिए और पिछले दिनों जो प्रयास चल रहे हैं, मुझे पूरा विश्वास है कि विश्व फिर से एक बार शांति की दिशा में लौटेगा। एक्सेलेंसी, पिछले दिनों विश्व समुदाय के सभी नेताओं से जब भी मेरी बात हुई और उन्होंने जब विस्तार से मेरे चर्चा की, मैंने हमेशा कहा है कि भारत न्यूट्रल नहीं है, भारत का पक्ष है और वो पक्ष शांति का है। हम शांति के हर प्रयासों का समर्थन करते हैं और हम शांति के हर प्रयासों के साथ कंधे से कंधा मिला करके खड़े हैं।
And the Russian President Vladimir Putin praised Prime Minister Narendra Modi for what he called the Prime Minister's special personal attention towards finding a solution to the conflict in Ukraine.
I could share a great deal of details about the events taking place in Ukraine. We are taking together with some partners, including the United States, on a possible peaceful settlement. Thank you for the attention aimed at finding a solution to this situation. Our relations are deeply rooted into history, but it is not the words that matter, it is the substance of the matter which is very profound. We really appreciate that and the fact that you, ex-Prime Minister, pay special personal attention to that.
President Putin also said that there are growing opportunities for cooperation between the two countries in high-tech sectors, including aviation, space, exploration, and artificial intelligence.
As our countries and our economies move, have more opportunities for cooperation. We open additional areas for cooperation, including those related to high-tech, aircraft, space exploration, high-tech, and artificial intelligence. We have very close and trusting cooperation in the military and technical area, and we are planning to move forward in all of these areas. This once again underscores the level and the trust of our relationship. Our teams have done a great work before this visit.
India's Ministry of External Affairs on Friday held a press conference on the two-day visit of the Russian President Vladimir Putin to India. India and Russia signed 16 MOUs across key sectors, including maritime, healthcare, education, fertilizers, customs, labor, food safety, and media cooperation. Now, major announcement on the India-Russia Economic Cooperation Program till 2030, Russia joining the International Big Cat Alliance, the launch of the cultural exhibition Fabric of Time, and the reciprocal 30-day tourist visas for Russian visitors. India's Foreign Secretary Vikram Misri highlighted the significance of President Putin's visit, stressing that the joint statement reflects the time-tested relationship between India and Russia. He said that the partnership is further deepening into a multifaceted bilateral cooperation.
Both sides have adopted a joint statement, which you might have had opportunity to see. The joint statement testifies to the India-Russia relationship as a time-tested, progressive partnership that is anchored in trust and mutual respect. It reflects the very special nature of our ties and provides a comprehensive framework for further deepening our multifaceted bilateral partnership. In addition to the joint statement, there were several agreements and MOUs that were concluded and exchanged during the visit, some of them in the presence of the leaders this morning. These include agreements on labor mobility, on maritime cooperation, health, culture, trade, media cooperation, as well as several business-to-business MOUs.
And reactions also are coming in on the India-Russia Business Forum meeting. And Sergei Cheremin from the Moscow government, he said that the partnership between the two countries has been strategic and privileged for decades, boosting cooperation among business and communities. He added that the partnership has greatly benefited both economies and predicts that India would become a superpower because of Prime Minister Narendra Modi's initiatives like Make in India and industrial corridors.
I'm in India for the first time, so it's first time in my life when I'm in India. And frankly speaking, I'm really impressed because, you know, India is a combination of long history and technologies of the future. So I'm very glad that our leaders has, I can't say business relations or political relations, because it's a big friendship, not only business or political relations. I'm really glad that they're meeting and that they get together the businesses of India and Russia to find some interesting potential, additional potential for the mutual development. I see really strong leadership from Mr. Prime Minister. He's kindly pushing India business to find potential for the cooperation, to find mutual huge projects. And again, I think that for Mr. Prime Minister, this is not only a business or political thing. This is a personal thing. He feels that India and Russia should be together.
Still to come here on DD India Live. A U.S. appeals court has backed President Trump and has paused an order to end the National Guard deployment in Washington. India's NDRF has concluded a week-long humanitarian mission in Sri Lanka after Cyclone Ditwa. Pakistan's Army Chief Asif Munir is named as the first Chief of Defence Staff with command over all three services in that country.
In today's episode, let's take a look at what does it truly mean to eat sustainably.
We add the already colonized mycelium into this ecosystem for basically helping the ecosystem to thrive more.
We're a public institution. Our goal is to grow vegetables.
Some urban areas already combine city and rural elements. Our urban agriculture programs are designed to tackle food security and meet the nutritional needs of the poor.
If you're prepared to love the land and the animals and don't see living such a life as making a sacrifice, then this is the right profession for you.
After gaining some knowledge about farming, I told myself, let's quit this and start our own business. And I decided to start goat farming.
You're watching DD India Live. I'm Mark Lynn. A U.S. appeals court on Thursday handed a victory to President Donald Trump in his effort to keep National Guard troops in Washington, pausing a lower court order that would have ended the deployment in the coming days. In a written order, the U.S. Court of Appeals for the District of Columbia Circuit lifted an injunction that said that the troops needed to leave the nation's capital by December 11. The D.C. Circuit's order, which is temporary and does not address the merits of the case, allows Trump to continue a deployment he began this summer and has ramped up in response to a November 26 shooting of two National Guard members near the White House. The order came in a lawsuit filed by the District of Columbia Attorney General Brian Schwab, he's a Democrat and the capital city's top legal officer. U.S. President Donald Trump's envoys, Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner, on Thursday met the Ukrainian negotiator Rustem Umerov in Miami, pressing a revised 28-point peace plan that demands Kiev cede Crimea, Donetsk and Luhansk territories that it vows to defend. The closed-door meeting, the third in 2 weeks, follows a fruitless 5-hour Moscow session with Vladimir Putin on Tuesday, where no compromise emerged. Trump called the Moscow talks reasonably good, claiming that the Russian leader seeks to end the conflict, although Putin on Thursday warned of seizing the entire Donbass by force, absent Ukrainian withdrawal, and also accused Europe of sabotaging talks. The U.S. military has conducted numerous strikes on alleged Venezuelan drug smuggling boats in the Caribbean and the Pacific since September 2025, killing dozens of people. The U.S. conducted another lethal strike on an alleged drug smuggling boat in the Eastern Pacific on Thursday. The new strike comes amid intense scrutiny and a bipartisan U.S. congressional review into the legality. Here's the report.
The U.S. military said it killed 4 men in a strike on a suspected drug vessel in international waters in Eastern Pacific on Thursday, amid growing controversy over a campaign that has taken more than 87 lives. In a statement on X, U.S. military said intelligence confirmed that the vessel was carrying illicit narcotics and transitioning along a known narco-trafficking route in Eastern Pacific. Meanwhile, pressure is mounting on the Trump administration over the first strike on the alleged drug boat. September 2nd incident was the first in a series of strikes targeting purported narcotics smuggling vessels that have left more than 80 people dead. A top Democratic lawmaker said that video footage played during a classified hearing showed a U.S. strike killing shipwrecked sailors who survived an initial attack on an alleged drug trafficking boat. The attack has sparked widespread criticism of both military campaign and Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth. Amid heightened regional tensions, Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro used an appearance on his radio show to reaffirm Venezuela's sovereignty and highlight China's political support. Maduro also called for support of the Brazilian people. Bureau Report, DD India.
Tightened immigration controls and rising concerns over alleged visa misuse have caused UK universities to suspend or halt admissions to students from Bangladesh and Pakistan. According to the Financial Times, at least 9 higher educational institutions have imposed restrictions on applications from both these nations. UK classifies both these nations as high-risk countries. The tightening comes after the UK Home Office revised its basic compliance assessment rules in September, forcing institutions to comply with the rules or risk losing their license. According to official data, visa refusal rates for Bangladeshi and Pakistani applicants stood at 22% and 18% respectively as of September 2025. The move follows a sharp rise in visa refusal rates and asylum claims linked to international students. Pakistan's Army Chief Field Marshal Syed Asim Munir has been appointed the country's first Chief of Defense Forces, giving him formal command over all 3 branches of the military. The appointment was approved by President Asif Ali Zardari on the advice of Prime Minister Shahbaz Sharif and follows the creation of a new post through a constitutional amendment earlier this week. Now, Munir will serve a 5-year term in this role while continuing as the Chief of Army Staff. The new structure, introduced under the 27th Amendment in Article 243 of the Constitution, consolidates operational, administrative and strategic military authority under a single official. It marks Pakistan's most significant military command overhaul since the 1970s. India's National Disaster Response Force, the NDRF, has concluded its week-long humanitarian mission in Sri Lanka following the devastation caused by Cyclone Ditwa. The 80-member team, which included specialized K-9 units, arrived on the 29th of November as part of Operation Sagar Bandhu, and they coordinated closely with local authorities to conduct search, rescue and relief operations in severely affected districts. The teams carried out intensive search, rescue and relief operations in Badula, in Kochakikade, in Puttalam, in Colombo and Gampaha, navigating floods, neighborhoods, unstable terrain and landslide zones. They rescued and evacuated about 150 people, recovered several deceased and stranded animals, and also provided critical assistance to pregnant women, infants, persons with disabilities, and also other vulnerable groups. The NDRF teams also distributed over 1,600 food packets. They restored contaminated wells in Gampaha and also trekked through deep debris in Badula for recovery missions. Their deployment highlights India's prompt response and reinforces the enduring humanitarian partnership between the two nations. The Reserve Bank of India, or the RBI, the Governor Sanjay Malhotra and his Monetary Policy Committee, the committee that he leads, on Friday announced its decision on the repo rate and other key rates and the CRR as well, the cash reserve ratio. So the central bank revised its financial year 2026 Consumer Price Index, or CPI, forecast sharply lower to 2%. It expects inflation in the first half of next year to remain at or just under 4%. They're going to support growth and ensure liquidity. The RBI has announced 1 lakh crore rupees of bond purchases and also a $5 billion 3-year foreign exchange swap. The Reserve Bank of India, or the RBI, also slashed its repo rate by 25 basis points from 5.5 to 5.25 amid low inflation and strong growth, marking a favorable economic period. The RBI Governor, Sanjay Malhotra, announced this decision, and this decision was taken unanimously, is what he said, after a 3-day meeting of the Monetary Policy Committee. And some sports news now, and the stage is set for Washington, D.C.'s football and for football's most coveted trophy in the town of Washington, D.C., and the world's eyes are now on the draw of the 2026 FIFA World Cup. It's taking place on Friday night. 48 teams and several debutants are in the field. The event will confirm the group stage lineup for this event. It sets the tone for the tournament as well. That's all we have in this edition of DD India Live. Let's know your thoughts on the news of the day. For those of you on the go, get the latest news and updates on the DD India mobile app. It's available on Android and iOS platforms. Scan the QR code and download it now. We'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. My name is Mark Lin. From all of us here in Delhi, thank you very much for watching DD India Live. Namaskar.